Later, they decided the order on their own. At midnight, the elderly woman numbered 149 felt the need to use the restroom. Her son wanted to accompany her, but she carried a hairpin as a weapon, so she didn't need him to go along. At that moment, the young woman numbered 222 also wanted to go, so the two of them went together. Initially, the staff didn't allow them to leave because it was curfew, but the elderly woman pleaded persistently, almost to the point of throwing a tantrum, so the staff finally agreed. Player 120 unexpectedly showed up and insisted on joining them. The three of them entered three separate restroom stalls. Meanwhile, Youngbi had woken up and was having a heart-to-heart conversation with Ji-hoon. They talked about the game, reminisced about their past life experiences, and promised to go out for soju together once the game ended. Their laughter and heartfelt promises did not go unnoticed by the leader. Player 120 and the elderly woman numbered 149 exited the restroom, but the young woman numbered 222 was nowhere to be seen. It turned out she was hiding inside, crying uncontrollably out of fear. The elderly woman quickly asked if she was okay, if she was hurt, and then hugged her tightly, comforting and reassuring her. Junho's group was divided into two teams. One team would sail northward, while the other headed southwest. They had to accomplish their mission within 4 days. Food and fuel had been prepared for 7 days, and they were ready to depart. The sound of the signal music echoed, and the loudspeaker announced that the third game would begin shortly. Players were instructed to prepare while the staff began moving to their designated positions. The area for the third game was warm and beautifully illuminated. Today's game was called Find and Partner. First, 255 players stepped onto the central platform. Once the game began, the platform would rotate, and the organizers would announce a number within 30 seconds. The players had to form groups with the corresponding number of members, enter a room, and close the door. The game began with cheerful music playing as the central platform started to spin. Everyone was tense, listening intently and not daring to lose focus for even a second. Suddenly, the music stopped, and the loudspeaker announced the number 10. Players frantically ran to find others to form groups of 10. Flashing lights added to the chaos. Standing near Ji-hoon's group was the group led by player 120, which consisted of 9 people. Still one member short. Player 120 quickly noticed that Magician 044 was standing alone, looking lost. She immediately dragged her into the group, and they all rushed into a green room. As the timer ran out, the doors automatically locked from the outside, and those who failed to form a group were shot dead on the spot. The scene was horrifying. Ji-hoon lowered his head, speechless. Magician 044 suddenly stared at the young woman number 222 and the hand she was holding over her stomach. Then, she turned to Ji-hoon and said, "So, there's a reason why you've outlived your odds." She then gave a meaningful glance at the young woman. Players who were not completely dead were placed into boxes and marked. This time, no one would hinder them anymore. The second round began, and everyone was extremely tense. Nobody even dared to breathe heavily. In stark contrast to the rest, 2 men, seemingly high, danced carefreely. The music stopped, and the speaker announced the number 4. Rapper 230 kicked down the 5th person in their group and, along with the remaining 3, rushed into the room. Player 120's team decided to leave behind Mage 044. Ji-hoon considered splitting from the group, but the leader told them to leave, saying he would find someone else. Ji-hoon, uneasy, scanned the crowd for the leader. Before the door closed, he saw the leader still searching for teammates, likely running out of time. The massacre began swiftly. Some players cheated, entering the room with only 3 members, but they didn't account for the cameras inside. As a result, all 3 were eliminated. Afterward, people gradually emerged from the rooms. Surprisingly, Mage 044 managed to form a team at the last minute. She smiled knowingly, causing chills for player 120's group. Ji-hoon, still worried about the leader, was relieved when he appeared, even joking with girl 222, which lightened the mood for everyone. The third round commenced. This time, the central platform spun for only a few seconds before stopping, and the speaker announced the number 3. Player 120's group quickly split up to find a third member. Rapper 230 told 2 people in his group to play rock paper scissors, with the winner joining them. A girl wanted to pair up, but her friend Min-soo played scissors, effectively choosing to abandon her. Meanwhile, an elderly woman and her son still hadn't found a third person when 2 men suddenly pulled her son into their team. He resisted initially but eventually chose to follow them. Seconds later, Ji-hoon and the leader pulled the elderly woman into their room just as the clock announced time was up.